Hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you all had a good Christmas and New Year, and a late Happy New Year to everyone. Well, I've been thinking of what to talk about, and I'm going to give you a little bit of some of the stuff I've noticed. The MS has really messed my memory up. I used to be able to study quite well for exams and things. Now I've got to go over and over and over and over and over. You get the idea. Just on a subject, and then I can forget it as simple as, you know, clicking your fingers, or it stays in there. Annoyingly, it kind of falls out when you're doing an exam, which is quite expensive on the pocket because some of the exams I'm having to do are quite expensive, a few £100, for example, and you just sat there staring at a computer screen with a clock ticking down, thinking, I did this and I've done it lots of times, lots and lots of times. I cannot remember. And then after you've moved on from that question, so you can't go backwards in these type of exams, you get 4 or 5 questions on, and then you go, oh yeah, I can remember that bit now. So I'm looking at ways of trying to improve that. One of the things that a dear friend of mine has been doing, I've been learning to programming a programming language called C, and we had a session last night, and bless him, he was literally shouting at me. We were going over and over and over and over and over just a single point, and eventually I've got it. And what I've asked him to do is not today, but sometime during the week, next time I speak to him, randomly ask me what all these definitions are and see if I can start recalling them. So that's something I'm trying to see if I can improve my memory. I've got to study, or I am studying for a technical exam for work at the moment, and that again is problematic. So I've done it before. The subject I'm doing now, I did an exam in 2 years ago. Sorry, 3 years ago, but I need to renew it, and I'm struggling. I really am struggling. It's stuff I do day in, day out at work, and I just can't remember it for an exam, and it kind of bugs. So, if you've got ideas of methods of suggestions of how to improve my memory, put them in the comments below, please. And talking about work, one again, um, this has been going on for lots of years now. Probably noticed it probably back in 2015. At the end of the day, I used to sort of leave the office, get into the car, and just feel absolutely exhausted. My old job, I had a 2 hour commute, hour there and hour back, and by the time you get home, you are really, really exhausted. The new job is nice, about a 35-minute, 40-minute drive, and again, I'm still feeling absolutely zonked by the time I get home. So, um, trying to do study on top of that, you're just thinking, I've spent all day staring at a computer screen, and I just don't want to do any more. But I try, which may be some of the problems with the memory, maybe all connected. So what else has happened? Oh, I've bought a newish car. It's a year old. Um, I looked online at the price of my old car, which is identical. It's the same model, um, but it's what 3.5, nearly 4 years old. It's actually 3 years in February, till I lie. It's got its first MOT in Feb. Um, I looked at the online price, and I'm not kidding you here. I've lost £500 only in 3 years of actually having the car, and I bought that, and it was 2 months old when I bought it, the last one. So, yeah, 500 quid in 3 years is pretty damn amazing. Other cars have lost thousands in a couple of years, but now was a good time to sell the car. I lost 500 quid on it, and I've bought another car of the same type, same model, but this one's a hybrid. So I'm trying my best to start going greener. Can't quite trust a full electric car at the moment. I still don't think battery technology is there personally, but it's getting there. This one's a hybrid, so it's at the moment plugged into the house, charging. Okay, the battery doesn't go hundreds and hundreds of miles. It gives you about 30, 32 miles range. But that's more than enough to get to work and back. And also, it runs petrol as well, so it'll either run on petrol or on batteries or both. So when your car is going slow, it's running on batteries, and over a certain speed, it kicks over to petrol. Or if it's under load going up a hill or something like that, it will switch on to both. But it's great. So many gizmos and buttons and things to press and screens to look at. But essentially, it's exactly the same as my old car, which is useful for my good lady, who had a little bit of a meltdown last night. So we were going to go to work. And I said, look, I'll come with you. You drive, and I'll tell you the only thing that's different is the gear stick. That's the only thing that is majorly different. And the old one has a little trigger. You have to pull the thing to release it. It's an automatic to move it from park to drive. And on this one, there's a button you press to remove it to park to drive. You know, similar sort of thing. It's just the buttons in a different place. But it did freak her, so I ended up driving the car back last night. And this morning at 6:30, getting up early to go back to where she works to pick her up. Great fun. Hopefully she's awake a bit later on. We're going to go out in daylight and go through things again. So that's the car. As I said, just trying a little bit greener. We'll see. This week I've also had a phone call from my energy supplier trying to flog me off with a new deal of 2 years. It's a 99.98% price hike on what I've been paying this year. I know gas and energy prices are going through the roof at the moment, but it's a pain. The thing that stuck out for me the most is the fact I would be tied into a 2-year contract, which means if the energy prices drop, possibly unlikely, but if they do drop, I will stay on the higher rate. And if I want to go down to the lower rate, I've then got to pay an exit fee, which is in excess of about £150 to come out of the contract to go on to the new contract. So I'm just I'm sitting still at the moment. It's not due for renewal until March, so plenty of time to keep an eye on what's going on. And maybe the 2-year deal will be better then, or have I made the right choice and go on to a 1-year deal at the lower rate? I don't know yet. Let's wait for the gamble to come a little bit closer. If you keep seeing me looking down at the screen, I've made some notes on I'm reading them as we go through. So, yeah. Also, February, I've got my very first face-to-face with my neurologist in, 2 years. So I'm looking forward to seeing him or her. It depends on which neurologist I'll be seeing. So I'm looking forward to that. I'm sure I will have the usual poke and prods and questions and things. The one I find difficult when they ask me is, how do you feel? Yeah, that's a difficult one to answer. Well, I find it difficult to answer is how do I feel? It's, well, compared to what? Because I've forgotten. I've had MS so long, I have actually forgotten what it felt like to be normal. I've got a tingling in my hands and my feet all the time. I've kind of, it's only there when I think about it now and I notice it that way because I've had it so long, it's just the norm. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing the neurologist. And the following week, I've got to go back to the same hospital, same place, go and get bloods taken for my 3-monthly blood test. I will ask while I'm there, when I go to the neurology, if they'll do the bloods there and then, but it depends on if the phlebotomists are working. I'll let you know how we get on with that. I wonder if any of you have noticed, hey, new glasses. I've had to, my eyesight is getting bad. I say that. My eyesight is my reading VDU glasses are a little weak, so the new ones just sort of up the prescription a little bit. Talking about eyes, I can't remember if I've mentioned it in another video. Apologies if I did. Again, memory, bad. Um, Back in 2006, I was outside building a wall in the days where my mobility was brilliant and I was physically stronger. I was building a wall, and I thought I had a migraine coming on. When I have migraines, I get vision collapse, so everything around the peripheral goes blurred, and you just get a little bit in the middle that is absolutely crystal clear. And then you notice, well, I noticed, like I call them little 1970s disco worms. It's like little lines, and it's sort of a dull red and a dull blue spiral spinning. And I normally think, oh yeah, I've got a migraine coming on. I need to go and do something about it. But this time, the vision collapse, I wasn't getting the spirals. So I finished all I did and went in the house and did the usual sort of you got migraine coming on kind of approach, and it didn't get any better. And within 24 hours of that vision collapse, um, all the vision went in my left eye. Absolutely nothing. It was black. Um, which, yeah, that was kind of worrying. In hindsight, it was really quite worrying because I wasn't sure what was going on. I wasn't sure if it was permanent. I knew it had to be something to do with the MS. I spoke to I spoke to the MS nurse on call and said, this has happened. They went, yeah, this is optical neuritis. Um, we're not sure if it will come back or what it will do. So I'm thinking, so I did some research. I spent a lot of time reading articles on the MS Society, not affiliated to this channel, by the way. And the news there was about 99% of the time, the vision did come back with some noticeable what's the word on the degradation, but it does come back in a high majority. For me, what I've got is these little tiny little blotches of blind spots. They're only little tiny things, but it does make it interesting when you're at the opticians having your eyes tested. It's if I'm staring at I don't know what the technical thing is, the word board at the end. When you're staring at it with your left eye, everything around the letter is pebble dashed with the background color. So if it's a white background, so it looks like a bit like Swiss cheese. The letter has actually got little bits missing out of it. But if you look slightly, I mean, it's only slightly to the left or right of that character, the thing comes back into vision, and you can kind of guess from your peripheral vision of it what letter it is. And I've said to the opticians, and they said, yeah, we can see it on the scan. There is some damage to the what do they call them? Some parts of the nerve, the actual nerve coming off of the cones and rods and things, but they can see it. There's a little bit of damage there. So yeah, that's one thing. Going back to 2006, when the vision started coming back, it was about 4, maybe 5 months it'd gone. When it started coming back, it was like a blurry black and white picture, and eventually the clarity came back, and it was semi-sharp but still black and white, which is really, really weird because having one eye which is black and white and the other one with color, it does some very strange effects to your sort of color vision. Color has come back eventually, but it's not brilliant. It's not vivid colors. So where something could be a vivid red in my right eye, it's more of a sort of dullish red. It's still red, but it's just more of a dullish thing. It's hard to describe because only I can see it, obviously. But if you ever are unfortunate enough to go down the route of having a optical neuritis session, speak to your neurologist, speak to your MS nurse, tell them what's going on, but don't panic. in a high, very, very high case, it does come back. For me, it's come back a little tiny bit down, but hey, I can live with it. Um, I can still see, I can still see red traffic lights and green traffic lights and things like that. So there's the most important things. As I said, don't panic about things. I said doing some research online can be dangerous, really dangerous, but it can also be helpful. But what you must not do is just go and research one thing, one site, and think that is the answer. Go and look at lots of sites and compare and filter out the trash from the truth. Anyway, stay safe well, everyone, and I'll talk to you further on down. And no, I have not forgotten the actual putting up a video of the Arboretum. It's on my list of things to do. I have to write things down, otherwise I will forget them. So I'll speak to you next time, and I will try and get the video put up next couple of days. Cheers and beers.